Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Oh my God, Queen B, I was just completely thrown off guard with the turn smile that you just did. Did you practice that?
Yes.
Okay.
I was
All
waiting.
right.
I was like,
yeah, I saw it. Anyway, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Owl Show right here on BKS1 Radio. It's your girl, Chanel, and I am here, of course, with Miss Queen B, and we are doing our last show of the year. Why the last show, you say? Because there's another Tuesday next week? Because we're taking a break. Okay? We are taking a break. Queen B has already started with whatever she has in that green cup, but but either way.
So I see that we're doing this.
But this is our final show for 2020, everybody. Y'all know we had a really big show. For everybody who didn't see what happened after the show, we are definitely going to get into that. But in the meantime, we are doing our final show wrap up right now. So if you want to join in, if you have anything to say, I'm also live from my Latoya Chanel Instagram page as well. So however it is you want to do this, let us know. If you have any comments, questions, blah, 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 blah. We're going to be talking about a myriad of things going from COVID to New Year's resolutions to you name it. That's what we're doing. But before we do that, I have to talk to my partner here, and as Miss Queen B, like I don't talk to you all the time, but I must say, how are you today? And what's going on with you?
Today is a great day. I'm anticipating Christmas, of course. 2020, I'm looking forward to it because 2020 has been a crazy, crazy year, and I'm just looking forward to celebrating and just spending time with the family. As far as things are great, no complaints. Just looking forward to that day off. Wrapping these gifts. Did you start wrapping yet?
I am finished, actually. I'm back. I am finished.
Lucky you.
Yeah, so I did it yesterday. I found some time in between meetings. Actually, no, it wasn't in between meetings because I didn't do it until 5:30. But as soon as I shut my laptop down, but I didn't wrap anything though. I just put everything in bags, and I had a whole corner of my room that was completely it was terrible. And so I had to do it in order to be able to live and function.
Did you start shopping a long time ago, or are you?
Yeah, well, me and one of your other friends had put the plan in motion well before Thanksgiving of where we were going to go, what we were going to do, what stores, So I had already had things mapped out as to how this was going to go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I am first year. I've kind of was last minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not good.
All right, but you're getting it all together.
I am. It'll. I always tell myself it works out. It works out. Like it always works out.
Of course.
Always works out. So.
Of course. All right. So that's Christmas out the way. Again,
it's the big kids. The little kids we're good. It's the big kids with, I know normally money, but for some reason this year, I'm just eager for them to open gifts this year. I don't know why. Like last year, it was just like, here's your five, deuces. But I don't know. I was going to ask you your schedule this week.
I have a virtual Christmas party tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I think we are supposed to have a half a day on Thursday, but I don't think I have a lot of meetings or anything.
I don't think we will have a half a day.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will have a half a day.
And then Thursday night is my family camera, cookie and cooking Thursday for Christmas Eve.
So yes, Christmas Eve, we are doing, I wanted to do ugly sweaters, but my kids are like, no, they itch, they're ugly, So it's a note to that, even though I feel like I want to actually buy them anyway for them. Maybe we could
I bought t-shirts and stuff about a month ago. So we're taking those
what kind
pictures.
of t-shirt? I hope we don't got the same t-shirts.
No, we probably don't. But we're taking our pictures Thursday night. So we have our cookie contest on Thursday night. So it'll be a cookie contest with everybody in the house cooking. And then we'll take our picture. And then I have to start my, meal for Christmas on Thursday night too. So
I am going to my mom's for Christmas. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm going to my mom's for Christmas, which is good because she was like, for whatever reason, she was like eager for us to come down. Because I really wanted to kind of stay home. I wanted to bring her up,
down,
wherever, up, down, But what I will do is, I don't know. I'm gonna come to her. So I'll just put all the gifts in the car and give them all to her. I mean, bring them all to her. Bring us to her. She's cooking, so which is good.
Yeah,
and that's about it. Like, we're doing the same thing you're doing. We're doing the cookies. They want to break brownies and sugar cookies. I'm not a sugar cookie fan. I'll eat them, but I like brownies. So I'm like, I'll just eat that. We have been moving the elf.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so tired. I cannot wait until this elf moving thing is over. We done ran out of spots. Like, as far as, Christmas. Yeah, I'm super excited about it this year. I don't know why. And I think with the year we've had, with a lot of losses, with a lot of whatevers, I am just wanting to spend time with the family. I am going to play In My Mind. That is like one of my favorite songs. You know that song? Do you know the song?
Girl, you go on ahead and hush.
It's our anthem, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to play that song. We're going to light the fire, of course. And we're just going to, and I want them, they never watched A Christmas Story.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to, as 2 movies I definitely want to watch. We watched Elf the other night and they loved it, which was good. But I'm going to watch the Christmas Story, which I do generally every year. I have to find it, actually.
Yeah.
But I love it. And that's what I'm going to do. And then Friday, we get up, breakfast and gifts, and then go to my mom's. I'm sure they'll be playing with some stuff. And then finish the day, just honestly just basking and thinking. And then I got work to do.
Yeah. So, all right then. Well, yeah, like I said, those are our holiday plans. So this is our last show of 2020. We do not have another one next week, everybody, but we will be back with a blast into 2021, God willing. With new shows, new guests, new topics, all of that. We have some shows that we were supposed to do this year that are being postponed into next year. So you guys just make sure you come back with us when we are back into 2021. In the meantime, just to get into our 2020 wrap up, we always start the show every year with what it is that we want to get out of this year. how we're feeling, what's going on, what was happening the end of 2019 that we didn't want to bring into 2020. I don't think anybody knew that this year would be like this. I don't think anybody was prepared or aware of what was coming when we were wrapping up 2019 to go into 2020. When we were talking about our goals and just so many things that we wanted to do for this year, I don't think anyone knew what was happening. I don't think anyone knew any of that. But by the grace of God, we are still here. We are still here. We didn't even know we were going to be here on this platform broadcasting like this out of our homes. Both of us are in our home offices broadcasting, which we did most of the year. We have been in studio from time to time.
Which was great when we were back in the building.
Yeah,
right?
when we were able to go back in studio, it was awesome. It was a great feeling. It felt good. To see everyone safely, was amazing. But I don't think any of us knew that it was going to be like this. I'm trying to remember what some of my goals were.
I don't think that we knew it would be like this, but I just will not live down the fact that I, for some reason, out of all the years I've been on this earth, could not transition into, and I'm telling you, if that was not like it was an inner something. It was an inner something that I could not, do you remember? I could not transition into 2020 good. I was still feeling like heavy and whatever. And I remember I'm telling you, I put the post up because I remember you saying, I just can't wait till you figure it out. And I could not figure out, but I just, for some reason, did not transition very well, not knowing that in March it would be like
that
it is.
Everything would completely shut down.
But I just knew something was off about coming into 2020 for me.
Right. And you felt it early on, and we actually did discuss that at length.
Several times.
Several times. And who knew that it would be like this? There was good, there was bad, there were gains, there were losses, there were, all of it. I'm going to say for me personally, I came into 2020 with a promotion from my job.
Yes.
That I was very, very excited about.
Long overdue.
Yeah, long overdue. I was taking on new responsibilities in a new area. And that felt great. The children were ending high school, going into college. My son was getting in shape to try to become a fireman at the time. Relationship wise, we were working out some kinks. And he was trying to start a new business. There was just a lot that was going on when 2020 started. And now by the grace of God, when we look back, 2020 wasn't all a waste. There were some gains, and there was, I feel like we all used the pause to get ahead. Even with my job situation, I had to take a lateral position as a manager in another area to do some different work. So that in itself was a blessing. Just to still have a job right now is a blessing. I pass by the food line at the art school around the corner from me every Saturday morning. And by the grace of God, I don't have to get on the line. That in itself is a blessing. My son, my youngest son is in college. So he finished out that senior year. He went off to college, even though it's virtual for him. My older son did become a fireman. He was hired. And we have his ceremony that is coming up next week, which is one of the reasons why I can't do the show, because I have to be out at City Hall with him. So that's coming up. My boyfriend did start the personal business that he was looking to start pre-COVID. He did end up starting that in September. So while there was a lot of loss and while there was a lot of fear, while we did experience some major deaths in the family, while we did experience a lot of setbacks, we did experience, some gains too, and there was some happiness and there was some peace and there was some joy and there was some closeness that was able to be shared. So I can't say that 2020 was the worst year. Yeah, I can't say it was the worst year ever, and it was a total loss. Because to be honest with you, it wasn't. It wasn't. I can't say that.
So I think from last year we kind of started off last year in good spirits, and we did the work. I feel like we did the work that both of us,
emotionally,
mentally, absolutely. We did the work that we needed to do. And that's always me and your goal anyway. We always have established some things that we need to work on and problem areas, or just areas we need to enhance, or thinking outside the box of things that we just haven't covered yet. So we set some goals and we smashed them, you know what I mean? And I was super excited. A lot of people don't root for you when you are accomplishing or doing whatever it is that you set out to do. But the one thing that I love about me and you is that we are rooters for one another. The win of getting a new car, the win of getting a new promotion, the win of all of that, we win. I think that's important in our sisterhood. And I can't thank you enough for just still having the conversations that we have to push us to the next level, both of us to the next level. And not only that, but actually establishing goals and manifesting them in total. I remember feeling like stuck. I remember telling you I felt kind of stuck, like, what am I accomplishing? And you always remind me, you're not just, you're doing stuff. But again, the win for you with all of the elevation and the security in your relationship and the promotion that was long overdue. It's almost like, I always tell you, like, it's almost like God held it up and was like, here we go. You ready? You ready to receive? You're open to receive. I started school again, which was in the midst of a pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, how did I have these, like, I'm gonna start school, and literally just followed it through and went through. And
because me in regular world times, it's like, wait, homework? I don't even, but like you are, a model student, and you can always do that. That's a quality.
No, but you remember I had a hard time at the beginning. And who did I come to?
Yeah, I know, but you're doing it though. You're doing it.
So that's the blessing. That I did start school, that I did gain some things, that I did some work that allowed me to gain some things, because sometimes we're not able to receive. If I had gotten the same blessings last year, maybe I wouldn't have been able to receive that or open to receive.
You might not have been ready for it.
Absolutely. So God was like, okay, you ready now? I got you. So I am still, yes, we had a lot of losses. Yes, we had a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
Yes, our kids didn't do the ideal thing. And I know that it probably doesn't hurt them now, but I think in the end, when it goes like their class reunion will come up and they had no pictures at prom and no whatever's, I think that will be difficult. And me with the girl child, I love that my son went to the prom, but it's like the girl child, it's like you want that day to come.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that, our kids did make it to college. And it was not easy. Let me just tell you that college is not easy remote for them.
No, it's not.
It's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's not easy at all. for anyone. I don't care if your kid was a brainiac. It is not easy at all.
Right.
So that part. But they made it there. You know, we actually gave them a great ceremony together.
Yeah.
And we watched them, you know, blossom and whatever. So that's a blessing. In the end, I watched my little brother. Shout out to him, Mujahid. So I watched him actually become an officer, and I thought that was great.
Oh wow! Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Great.
You know, first one in our family actually to do that. So I'm just super excited about that. My brother, both my brothers, brought some properties and things like that. So I'm super happy for them. Kudos to them. So a win is a win for us all.
Yes, it is.
I watched my friends blossom. That it's just been that. I think I've been able to count my blessings. No, literally.
And you know what? And I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to use that to transition into, you know, our next topic in the rundown, the 2020 rundown. So, you know, we started out 2020 with 2020 being clear vision, and there were a lot of lessons learned. It should have been a lot of lessons for everybody, but you know, a lot of times people get things in their own time. But I want to know, what were some of the most pertinent lessons for you this year? Because dealing with the pandemic, dealing with, you know, the death of George Floyd, and that being the start of another civil rights movement in our time, in our era, and dealing with, you know, and we are going to have future shows about this, but dealing with family, dealing with friends, dealing with loss, dealing with finances, dealing with, you know, there had to have been some lessons, some core lessons for this year. So I want to know, what's some of those for you?
It's a lot. The first thing that I learned this year was, so I have to like steal it from you, but just throw out what you think or know and just kind of go with the flow.
Girl.
You know what I mean? Like we made all these plans and whatever, and almost God was like, I got this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was the first lesson of, I don't know if you remember, like I still had hope for, I'm like, oh, this, you know, I didn't think the pandemic was going to last this long. I didn't think that we were, I don't know. I was oblivious to thinking that I knew it was something serious, but in the beginning, again, they sold us a dream, and they sold us this thing where it's just older people that's getting it. I don't know if you remember, like it was older people. So it was just like, okay, you know, it's the older people. And I'm not saying that, you know, it's any less bad if it's the older people, but it was like, okay, you don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like people my age.
Yeah.
People, you know, a little older than me. Our you know, parents, you know, people like, whoa, wait a minute, you didn't say all that. So that was the first thing, throw out everything I knew about everything and my plans for the year. Because my plans, it's almost like you said, it's a pause. We were literally paused, and it was sink or swim.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. It was sink or swim. It was, you either stand still and marinate and grow or whatever, or you take off from doing something that you always wanted to do. So those are the two things that you could actually do in my book.
Yeah.
And I simply chose like some of it for me to stand still and to relish in family time and to relish in forgiveness for everyone. And no, that was, if 2020 has not taught me anything, that life is even shorter than the life is short phrase that we always say, right?
Than the time that we had in our head.
In our head. It's like, you know, it was people that we lost that we thought that was going to be here forever. And guess what? They were not.
Yeah.
So my thing, it was like, it's time for you to literally forgive. Forgive for you, forgive for them, forgive for it all.
It's in that aspect, it was not only is tomorrow not promised, but the rest of today is not promised either. And I talked about it a lot this holiday season. What it did was it made me choose to celebrate everything. All of that. Oh, well, this isn't even a milestone birthday, or this isn't even. Who says that you're going to make it to that? Who says that you're going to make it to the milestone birthday? Who says that you're going to make it to your birthday this coming year?
But is that not what we learned? Because there were people that made posts and that we know that came up in my memories and everything, and they are no longer here.
Yep.
So celebrate it all.
Celebrate everything. Celebrate everything. And even if there was any point in time that you were ungrateful, unappreciative, or thought you had more time to do something and you continued to put it off, you should have learned this year. If you learn nothing else, you should have learned this year that you don't have to have that time.
No.
If you have something that you need to do, you need to begin doing it now. If you somewhere holding grudges or are miserable, you need to get rid of that and begin working on that right now. If you are waiting to have the perfect situation to celebrate something, please know that you are not promised the rest of this evening, let alone 6 months from now. All of that, I will do it when, or I'll be happy when. 2020 should have rid us of the statement of, I can't wait until, or I will be happy when.
Yeah, that should be extinguished.
Right.
That should be
Those
extinguished.
statements, because what is stopping you from being happy now?
Absolutely.
What is stopping you from being happy now? 2020, if nothing else, should have rid us of making those kinds of remarks, to be honest with you. I've never been big on I'll be happy when, and I can't wait to do this till when this area is perfect, or that area is right, or when I have enough money, or when this person acts right, or when that, blah 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 blah. Those days may never come. So in the meantime, you just never see it. You just never experience certain things in life because you're waiting until. Nobody promised you. Nobody promised you the until. Where did you get that from? Nobody promised you that.
Let me tell you what the life lessons, and I'm stealing this. I'll have my own idea about it, but I'm stealing this from a message that I saw. We all have a date of birth, right? So I'll just use mine, for example, 1979. There is a dash between the year. It's a dash, and then the year that the unknown, the year that we succumb to whatever, okay, in this world. And I remember a pastor saying, how are you living your dash? What are you doing with the dash? Because the dash honestly represents a lot of things. Whatever you have done in your life up until, because that final date is the date after the dash, right? So it is important for us to really, really understand that we have to live the dash. I want to be able to say that I traveled. I want to be able, and we didn't even take our annual meet and you like we normally do.
We didn't do our
annual something. We didn't do a trip this year, but the one thing about it is we didn't wait in any other year to go anywhere. So we still have those memories of the years before that we did get up and go, And I love that, because last year we were in Miami for my birthday. We were in Miami for my birthday. I think the year before we went to Dominican Republic, or was that the same year or the year before?
That was the year before.
Okay, so we didn't get a chance this year. Actually, we were supposed to go to Puerto Rico this year, but we didn't get a chance to do that. Other plans fell, whatever. But that was going to be our annual trip. But my thing is that I've lived so much. I remember celebrating. I remember everybody laughing at me like, you celebrated, because I remember I did 40 days before my birthday. And I celebrated every year. And I thank God that I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like you said, you literally, like I said, the dash means something. And you have got to be able to say that what have you done? What have you done with your life? You have lived, you have tried everything, you have done everything that you were supposed to do or wanted to do. That's important.
Yeah.
It's really, really important. So,
but and even if it's not using that time to reach goals, this, that, or the other, at least don't use the time being miserable. Don't use the time being miserable. Especially if you know you're using your time being miserable. When do we stop doing that?
There are some of us that have not. There are some of us that have not, but eventually I guess they'll learn. There's no way you can tell me we've grown, we've learned, we've loved, we've lost, we've done a lot this year. So I just kind of want to, for me, I'm like, I'm living, I'm being. And that is it for me. That is it for me. Like I said, when I said to you guys a few months back, I am celebrating everything. And if I can do it, I am going to do it. And there is no, oh, well, I'll do this when I get this, or when I have that, or when this area is all right. And when this area, no, I can't live like that. And I can't wait for that anymore. And if 2020 has taught me anything, that is definitely one of the biggest lessons. Like I said, not only is tomorrow not promised, but the rest of today is not promised. So what I have to do is make sure, I have to make sure that I live now. I have to make sure I value the people in my life now. I have to make sure that experiences that I want to have now, again, we are in a pandemic, we're living through COVID. So it's kind of hard to do everything that I want to do as far as travel wise or go places wise, or, a lot of some of, the experiences that I want to do. But for those things that I can be in control of right now, that is what I'm doing. And there's no way that I'm not. I can't wait any longer. And that is one of my biggest lessons of this year. All of that thinking you have this time. Again, I say on a weekly basis when we do this show, God willing, I am here for the next week to do it, because at the end of the day, I don't have to be. And with the way the stories went this year, we know that has been the case for a lot of people. There were people that found out they had COVID on a Friday and were gone by Tuesday of the next week. And it's like, or didn't find out, and somebody dropped somebody off at the hospital and never saw him again.
Never saw him again. And they were supposed to be the well person. You know what I mean? And the other person gets out the hospital and the other person is gone. So it's like, if we have learned nothing else, all that, oh, well, I'll deal with it when and in time and when I feel like dealing with, and this, that, or the other, you may not have that time. You don't have time. And if you haven't learned that, I suggest everybody take a deeper look within themselves, because the rest of today isn't promised.
I agree.
The rest of today isn't promised. So yeah, that was definitely what, one of my biggest lessons of 2020. So in the meantime, our rundown, I want to talk about what happened last week when we left the show. So for everybody who doesn't know, we weren't home last week. As you all can see, we are in our homes right now doing our final 2020 rundown show. But last week we were not at home. Last week we were in our studio with our beautiful backdrops and microphones and technology and la 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 la. And it was our holiday show, and we were nice and dressed up and beautified last week. And Queen B, I just want you to, tell everybody who is watching what happened. What happened after the show last week? I'll wait. Go ahead.
First of all, understand that even if your friends say they brutally honest with you about everything, know that they're always keeping something from you. I want to say that.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I want to say that because I just I don't understand for 2 months how someone can talk to someone every day, sit next to them, do whatever, and then they can actually lie.
Oh, mm-hmm. So this
scratch a lie, find a thief.
This is what we're choosing.
Ray Charles' mother said, "Scratch a lie, find a thief."
Right.
But couldn't believe it. Couldn't. If you had told me in a million years that my best friend would have kept a secret from me for 2 months, I would have been like, nah.
Because this is what we're choosing to focus on. But go ahead.
So I was here beautified because my best friend told me, get beautified. We're going to do it up, yada, yada, yada. So we did it up. We both looked good. And I go outside and I have a whole surprise of people with flowers and just people outside. And I'm like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And I got engaged last week.
You got what last week?
You're not gonna act like this, because you even lied. I don't know if everybody goes back and watches the show. You even lied on the show. We're going to go get a drink. We're going to go. Yeah, that's what you said to me. Anywho,
did you do this? Like, you going to show your ring in the camera? You got engaged last week.
Engaged.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay.
Super excited about that. I got engaged. Someone found me worthy.
Oh, shoot now. Okay.
Somebody found me worthy enough.
To
give me a ring. And I am, when I tell you I couldn't be more happier. I love the way it was done. Everybody's like, oh, waiting for me to cry, but I don't like to cry in front of people. But I boo-hooed with her because I was so baffled. But first of all, just the work it took to hide something from me, I know that everybody was probably going crazy because they really pulled the fast one on me. Everyone. Mm-hmm. The fact that I felt like Chad Boseman, where no one leaked anything with this, which, was funny. I think the lengths that she went through to be engaged to me was also beautiful. Our love is beautiful. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it just was a fantabulous. I've watched me and her. I watched the video a zillion times,
because we have a video. Yes.
Shout out to Norm who made the video possible.
Look, we have a video.
Yeah. I hate y'all. But shout out to Norm who made the video possible. It was beautiful. It really, really was beautiful. And shout out to my friends who knew, especially you, Chanel. I don't know if you remember, but I remember standing there looking at you. I couldn't even say anything. I just looked at you when you looked back at me. And I just couldn't. I was like, if I stare any longer, I'm going to be choked up. But I just with words, with my eye, not with words, but with my eyes, I thank God for showing a love, like, giving me a love like I found. I can't be more happier. I can't be more happy. I can't be more grateful that in this life that I'm able to experience this type of love from someone.
Wow.
I'm a good with giving. I've always given love. I've always given my last. I've always given my heart, my soul and everything like that. But for it to be reciprocated is another thing.
Yes.
And it was a pleasant surprise. It was a pleasant. So 12/15, 2020, I was engaged.
You got engaged after the show last.
So I noticed a lot of things in the video. And I remember thinking when my son got my hand, whatever, where's Toya? I couldn't, I was thinking a zillion things, but I see that you literally just stepped out the way and disappeared.
Yes, darling. When you came outside, it wasn't about me. I had done my part, and my part was to plan, go along with the lie. But when it was time for the proposal to happen, and when it was time for the plan to be put into place, literally, we walked out the door, and I was in front of you or behind you.
Remember, I didn't want to go first. Remember,
So
I was originally supposed to go first.
Yeah.
But I was like, Toy, I don't want to go because I'm like, we're about to do a cameo. Like, I don't want to because I don't know what to do.
So I went first and immediately slid out the way. And by the time I saw you again, it was maybe 10 minutes after the proposal. I was just like, let me play the background. The plan worked. Everything happened the way it should. And so we are all good. We are all good. So that is how it was supposed to go. Everything was fine. Everything worked out. So, we have definitely had, I think that was the great way to end 2020.
I can't I can't thank anyone enough, like any one person between you, Katara, and Dawn and her friends who, did the gift bags and everything for everyone. I cannot thank everyone, Trish for the food truck and just, everyone for putting everything together. I can't even thank anyone enough, It's something we'll laugh about later. It's something that I'm teary-eyed about. It's something that was beautiful. It's something that worked. And I'm just super elated about it because wedding is soon to come. Wedding is soon to come. And I'm gonna lose like
10 pounds. I mean, let me look, we ain't even talk about you. Let me lose like 10 pounds. I just need like a good 10.
Don't lose no more than 10.
I know. Just let me lose like 10 and then I'm gonna be good.
You won't be at my wedding if you don't. No,
if I lose more than 10. I just need to I'm gonna do 10 and then I'm gonna be straight. So and we'll be good. So so that's definitely a major part of our 2020 rundown, because that included, our show, that included things that we talked about from the beginning of this year until now. That includes the fact that 2020 wasn't all bad. It wasn't
a wash.
It wasn't a complete wash. It wasn't a complete waste. It wasn't, just enduring rough and hard times. There were while there were extreme lows, there were also extreme highs.
Absolutely.
And that definitely was one of them for you, and even in the planning process, that was definitely one of them for us as well. So, just knowing that that was going to happen was an amazing thing. So it was like, oh, good, something good is happening. We got something good. We got something where we can celebrate. We got something where we can feel high and have a high and great moment. So,
Yeah, I felt like that. I felt beautiful that night. Because we got dressed, even though I was sitting there like I feel like I'm overdressed. But it was beautiful. It turned out really well. It turned out like I said, everybody worked together and it made my just beautiful. I keep watching the video. I keep being amazed. I love my ring. Everything about it. I mean, I love her. I'm looking forward to planning the wedding, of course. I know it's not going to be easy. And to losing weight. Because you talking about you have to lose 10. I'm doubling that. Tripling that probably.
Oh, you want to lose 20 to 30?
Nah, I'm going to lose like 40 to 50.
Oh, gosh.
I have to.
Okay.
Gotta look a certain way, sis.
Hey.
Gotta look a certain way.
Whatever you want to do.
We both gonna be two little crackheads pulling up to the altar.
Yeah.
So.
But okay, so yes, so again, that was definitely a part of our 2020 rundown, our 2020 recap. So, what's next? What else do we have next? What's coming up?
Well, it is.
You have to, again, while we're talking about the highs, we also have to talk about the lows because, as we talked about a little earlier today, last year, this time we were helping in a fundraiser for a friend of yours. So,
I will tell you, she's a foster mother. Karen Hall, who passed away this morning at 2 a.m. Someone I had the pleasure of being reared by and loved by. I will say that. She loved the community of people. And very hard to see her go. She was very, very vocal and raw. But her end goal was the kids. And she did a lot of things for the kids in the community. Wanted better for Plainfield as far as the community. Could get the worst drug dealer to put a gun down. Just wait straight. Go in the midst of whatever beast there was. And go to the hospital to the person that just got shot and, be there and just be mothering. She was very much like that. So I send out a true condolence to Joey, who's like my brother, to him and Noel and Sammy and everyone, and Jada. Those are her 4 children. Even though she has a plethora of children, those are her biological children. And so I give much condolences. It's been rough. This woman, I will not say she lost the battle to cancer. I'll just say she beat it, because she literally, years ago, they told her that she wouldn't make it. And she lived 7, 8 plus years after that. She kicked cancer's behind. And I'm saying that in the best way that I know how on air. But shout out to her. It was just last year. We were doing that fundraiser with her. And for whatever reason, she would come to us, you know what I mean, to do that. And I am extra grateful just to have had someone like that in my life, I did get the call today that she passed at 2 this morning. And we will honor her always and live as if, as though she taught us to, and love as if she taught us to. She loved the whole community of people.
Yeah.
She was no respecter person. And I love that about her. So again, keep every bit of her family members lifted up in prayer. Nieces, cousins, children, exes, ex-husbands and things like that. So
Rest and rest to her.
Yeah, she did what she I mean, on my post I said she did what she came to do. Sometimes we don't spend our gifts, you know what I mean, that God gives us. And I think I can truly say that she spent every bit of gift that God gave her.
Yeah.
She was a foster mother, she was a mother, she was a grandmother, she was a great grandmother, she was a beautiful soul. So I'm grateful for the time we had her. And that I actually, you don't always have to meet everyone, but for someone to grace your presence in this life, I'm extra grateful for everything,
Yeah.
So that's that.
Yeah. Again, 2020, sharp highs, sharp lows. Sharp highs and sharp lows. I will, like you said, she stepped outside of herself and she was here to do for others. We heard from Sean Dawson a couple weeks ago. Shout out to her because today is her birthday. But we heard from her a couple weeks ago where she said, be the change because it's not just about you. And that is something that I am going to take with me into tomorrow and however long I have here, is to be the change because it's not just about you. We get caught up with ourselves, and we get caught up with our circumstances, and we get caught up with our problems and our issues. And you definitely cannot do that, so in the meantime, as a part of our 2020 rundown, one of the reasons why we may be able to be back in the studio a lot sooner and be able to go on all these trips and everything that we have planned is because there is a vaccine, people. There is a vaccine.
Really happy about that.
Dr. Fauci got the vaccine today.
He didn't really, but go ahead.
So I want to know, what are your thoughts on that? Are you getting a nurse B? Are you getting the vaccine?
Let's come in. No, I am not.
It's care to expound upon that answer?
I just want to see how everyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
They got to make it out the woods. Mm-hmm. Working in pharma, I know that, vaccines take a really long time in order to do. The thing that is, it's almost like the flu. You are just dealing with one strand of COVID. There is another one that just came out in UK. Which children are getting.
I thought we were on the third one anyway, because
So yes. But what I'm saying is there is another one. So in UK that they have said that children, is also getting it. I just want to see how everyone does. Mm-hmm. When I smile, I just.
Mm-hmm. 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 There's a lot of people that are saying, well, I may get it, but I just don't want to be the first round, Mm-hmm. I just don't want to be the first round of people because we don't know what kind of side effects may occur, and everyone doesn't feel safe with how quickly the vaccine was developed. And nobody wants to be the guinea pig.
I can't. Okay, and so that now that you said that, I can't speak for everyone else, but I know that people of color are very anxious about this, because if you remember the Tuskegee incidents that happened, with the fact that they told us, oh, we're giving you a vaccine, and it was syphilis. They were injecting Black people with syphilis, and we died at an all-time high in rate. So I'm going to say that there are a lot of people that are very leery of this whole thing. Remember, we were supposedly getting it at alarming rates. So now you come out with the vaccine, and the first community that you go to is Newark. We're going to go to Newark, and we're going to be getting, you understand? So you got to understand where everyone's coming from. You got to understand where everyone's hesitant about. I mean, we lost a lot of people back then, and for those of you who don't know that, research it and look it up. They injected men, women, children with syphilis. And you literally killed off a great deal of people. Syphilis, there was no cure for syphilis back then.
Well, I mean, I think that, that's just the mistrust of Black people in this country as far as the government and medical experimentation is concerned. The Tuskegee experiment is just one of many. It was just one that was the most aggressive at the time. But that wasn't the first time or the last time that as Black people we were.
You could give the other example as well, because I know several as
experimented on. We have been experimented on and been the guinea pigs for a very long time. Now, a point that we have been talking about in this household here is, of course, this is a virus that is a global virus that is affecting everybody. So while it may not be a situation where it's just affecting people in this particular country, testing, if you started looking at it a few months back, Bill Gates was testing in Africa. So even though it wasn't necessarily African Americans this particular time, it was still people of darker hues, no matter what continent that they were on, that were used as the guinea pigs during the clinical trial phase.
So you remember that anesthesia, a lot of people don't understand how anesthesia came about. And a lot of it was the fact that they actually used to give nothing to Black women, right? And they used to actually operate on us or do procedures on us, us as the test dummies, knowing that we endured a great deal of pain. And that is how anesthesia came about. That is how certain surgeries came about. That is how they knew the level of whatever to come about. It was us used as guinea pigs. And I can tell you a plethora of incidents where that happened. Like you said, it's just not Tuskegee. It's not just the Black. Let's see, Jeff said something. Oh, it's not. He said, "Tilt my camera down." So it's not just the it's not just that. It is things that they've done medically to us, in general. So that is why we're hesitant. We're on some
right.
I'll pass on this.
Right.
And you got to understand everyone's fear.
Right.
Right.
Well, the fear comes from just a mistrust. It doesn't matter if it's the United States government or if it's the World Coalition. The mistrust of being a Black person anywhere in the world. That is where that comes from.
I'm glad you said that, because it's not just that you injected us or you used us as anesthesias or everything was used. Like you used us for you used cells from
Henrietta Lacks.
Exactly, Lacks. You used cells and things like that to, about cancers and all that other stuff. So those are the things that you use us for guinea pigs and things like that. But not only that, then we have a disparity right now in the healthcare of these same race of people. There's a disparity in we're dying at labor and delivery at alarming rates. A lot of people forgot that. We're dying of blood clots. We're dying of heart disease. We're dying because we're complaining of different ailments or diseases, or just saying we're in pain and no one taking us seriously.
Yeah.
So you got to understand where we're coming from, in the medical realm, and why we have the feeling that we have. Like we don't even have the best healthcare, it's just so many tests that they don't do on us when we complain about pain. Oh, it should be okay. And we're dying. Take, for instance, Venus, I believe it was Serena Williams, who had to advocate for herself after she had her daughter and was like, something is wrong. They literally were going to send her home. And honestly, they found the blood clot that she would have died from had she not have advocated for them to check every part of her. So I'm just saying that we're dying,
and she had the money to do so.
And she had the money to do it.
So if in the event that she didn't, but still felt that there was something wrong, they would have dismissed her and she would have died.
So my point to you is that because of the disparity in the healthcare for us in general, yes, we're scared. Yes, we're scared. Yes, we don't understand how this is going to affect us. So right now we're just waiting. And you got to understand it. We stood, if you look at the documents from back in the day, the film and everything, we stood in line for what you told us was a shot. And you injected syphilis on purpose as to kill a whole race or lineage of people. And you don't understand why we're upset or why we're hesitant. I'm sorry. I understand if no one, and I'm a nurse, and I know that there are disparities in healthcare. I know that insurance is looked at. Let's just be real. Insurance is looked at, and you will give me the best test because I am a nurse, because I know what to ask for, because I have better insurance than someone who's on Medicaid. You know what I mean? So you will do the bare minimal for the person that's on Medicaid, because why? They're not going to pay. Doesn't pay much. It doesn't. But you will give me every test. And then if I give you an attitude, you won't give me that test. You will deem me the Black, angry, sick female and not do for me what you would do for my counterparts. So yes. If there are Black people out there, or people of color, I should say, that are hesitant about the test, we need to understand the level of hesitance and the level of fear that we have endured.
Yeah. As of right now, I'll wait. As of right now, let me say this. If I came to a space where, but once you are already test positive for it, it's too late to get the vaccine, right? Is that the case?
That's what I thought. It's so funny that you said it, because I kind of was looking up. I didn't understand it per se. How that's working.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'll say this. If they provide the vaccine as a cure, and if I were to test positive and they say, do you want it now? I'd be like, oh, okay, then. All right, go on ahead. You know what I mean? But if that's not my situation, my circumstances, and by the grace of God, I am healthy, then I will wait. And I'll wait and see how it affects others.
Right.
Before seeing how it is going to affect me and my family. And again, even if I remove, the fear of just being of a darker hue, I had an 11-year career in pharmaceuticals. So I'm privy to clinical trials and the stages of clinical trials and how long things take and pre-existing conditions and having to test this study and a double-blind study of people that have pre-existing conditions and how long that takes.
That's what I'm used to as well.
Right, and those side effects and gathering the data from that in order to make a decision and to do that in a span of 5 to 6 months, when we know your average drug can take 4 years from inception to release to doctors. And that's not even a vaccination that everybody is supposed to take. That could be a hypertension drug. It's just a little
a diabetic drug.
Right. That it's a little frightening.
Or a cancer drug that is still not a cure.
And these drugs are, 5 to 10 years in the making from inception to actually being able to write scripts for them. So
FDA approved.
And then get FDA approval. Again, you still work in that industry, and I did for a long time. And so knowing how that works, and then just knowing that I'm still going to wait. I did talk to my mother's doctor, who was saying that to splice, to splice the cells of the COVID virus is not a difficult thing to do. So it was much easier to create a vaccination for this than it is for other diseases. So I don't know, because I shared my fears with him, and we'll see what happens. Either way, if I can, I will wait and see first. And, by June, July, August, September, October, if everybody else is still here and the virus is getting worse, then, then I'll go on ahead and shoot my arm up,
Shoot your arm up.
I'll go ahead and shoot my arm up, other than that, that's just how I feel about that there. But in the meantime, wait, Jeff is saying this vaccine isn't the typical vaccine. The timeline is different. They actually tested it on more people. Yeah, so I heard they tested it on about 70,000. In the UK, I heard they tested it on maybe like 700. And here in the States, they tested it on 70,000 people before, and supposedly with every pre-existing condition. So it's supposed to be safe. So time will tell, right? In situations like this, right? Time will tell. Is that how that goes?
And when it does, I'll be there.
Yeah, when time.
But until then, I'm good.
So in the meantime, for our 2020 rundown, so what's next for the Owl Show? If we are still in a space where we are still in COVID, at least for the first half of 2021, where do we go from here? So what can we do?
I mean, I'd like to. We unfortunately we were unable to do a lot of the empowerment things that we normally do. Just any of the extra things that we do, because a lot of people don't know that we don't only just do radio. Me and you both venture out doing a lot of other things. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of community service, which is, charity. We do a lot of empowering our people in different ways that we can. We were kind of where we were involved with certain things that we could be, but it's just certain things that we could not do because of COVID. And I'm praying that it opens up. We didn't have our poetry event that we generally have. We didn't have our women's empowerment with a different theme this year for women that we normally have. We were unable to do our show where we venture out to, remember when we did Four Brothers and everything like that. And we were unable to do various things. I was not able to do interviews and just regular things that generally we do.
Well, guess what? Guess what?
Or go to concerts. It's no.
So you know what? Honestly, I feel like because we had almost a year of not being able to do, I feel like in 2021 we need to forge ahead. And if we have to do some things virtually, I say that we do them.
Yeah.
I say that we do them. We usually do our first event by February and March. I feel like we need to sit down behind the scenes and say, boom, what virtual events can we do? And let's move ahead and let's get them done anyway.
Yeah, so utilize whatever tools we have to do, which is, you're absolutely right.
Right.
You're absolutely right. You make the best of what we have and do. I would love to do more. I know that I started school, so I'll be finishing up. So that'll be another level of tie up for me. But I know that when I'm done, I want to take off. I want us to do a lot of the things that catch up, and I want to do a lot of the things. But I want to be a part of. For me, I want to do more with the women. I want to do more with the teenage moms. I want to do more with children. I want to go to shelters. I want to do, I want to give back. I want to give back because, as everyone knows, and I'm very transparent on the show, at some point I was faced with homelessness and with my children, and I want to be able to reach back. And I think it is my goal and it is my duty, as we always say on this show, that it is our duty to reach back and give back.
It's your responsibility.
It's our responsibility.
Yeah, it's your responsibility
to do that. So those are the things that I look forward to doing in 2021. 1, graduating. 2, that is my goal, to graduate and to do more service to our communities, to our communities, and generally get out there and help and get our hands and feet wet and in the mud as much as we could. So I think we accomplished a lot. you know, in the little bit of time that we've been on. I think we do a lot of things, and we do a lot of things that people don't know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do a lot of things that people don't know about. But I think, you know, we could do more. I think we could be pressed to do a little bit more. And it is my goal next year to go to the to go back to where I was in a homeless shelter, Naomi's Way, to go back to where I was, to mentor at least one family. You know what I mean? That is my goal to do. And just also for us to just get out there and just have more events that cater to the betterment of our people. You know what I mean? Our people.
So we talked about it last week. We talked about the mortgage events, and getting our people, you know, owning property, and you know, ownership is only one avenue that you can begin to build wealth. But you know, we talked about that last week, but I definitely think that is what's next for the OWL show. If we are still in a space where we can't get people together, you know, the hope is that this vaccine is going to open the doors again, at least by the spring and summertime. But in the meantime, we still got 6 months where we don't need to waste it. You know, we started the show talking about, if we can do it, why not get it done? And, you know, both you and I are definitely in a place where we can make some things happen. And at this point in time, it's just like second nature to us. So I definitely want to put that on the horizon for 2021. I definitely want to make sure that, you know, we stay growing here on this show, and we stay talking about growth here on this show, because so many of us, even in the midst of the world we're living in right now, are still just stuck and don't know how to get out. And it's like it's baffling.
You know my fear, and you know the fear that I live in. My fear is to be complacent. You know, I don't want to be complacent. I don't want to get comfortable in anything. You know, I don't want to stop at a point where I feel like, you know, I've lived and I've reached all of my goals. No, every year, every 6 months, every 2 months, every whatever should be a goal. So I never want to get complacent. And I think that's what we as a community, or as just a whole, you know, women, men, whatever, we've done that. And I just don't want to feed into any of that. You know what I mean? I want to better myself. I want to, you know, better my community. I want to be a part of something big that I can look back and say, wow, we've accomplished. You're absolutely right in saying, we got to do better, and we got to have goals. You know, we got to have things. We can't just be like, okay, we accomplished that, it's over. No, it's not over for me. And it shouldn't be over for you. And we need to push our children to have the same goals and the same values and the same whatevers, you know. I'm a firm believer in whatever I didn't do, I want my children to do, you know, and I want them to be better at it than I was. There's a lot of knowledge that me and you and our generation did not have collectively, that we're learning now, that I kind of want their generation to get right now, because again, what will they be? Better ahead, you know, and they will learn to maneuver. I think for us, we talk about this all the time, financial freedom.
Yeah.
Is one of the things I don't think, and I say this all the time, no disrespect to my mother, but I don't think that I didn't know that credit was what, you know,
as important
as you know, as it is. Yeah. I know I was there when the bill collectors, you know, she said, tell them I'm not here, you know, and I used to say, she said she's not here, you know, that type of thing. Like, yeah. I was there. So it's just very important that we teach our children responsibility when it comes to credit, responsibility when it comes to paying, and responsibility when it comes to obtaining things just in life, and being savvy about saving, you know, and not living paycheck to paycheck, or, you know, when they get money or whatever like that, taking out all these loans or getting credit cards that they cannot afford. You know, it's very important for us to teach that level of financial literacy.
Oh yeah,
you know?
definitely.
It's very important for us for us ourselves to understand it, and then for them to set themselves up for the future. Again, I was not taught, like, I don't know about you, but I was not taught to kind of look for the future. I was literally taught, like, live in the moment and worry about, you know, don't really worry about tomorrow, you know, live for what you're living. And that's not the case.
I think there's a balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think mentally and emotionally, you have to find some time to be present, right? I think that there is a balance of happiness and responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be mature enough to find that balance, because otherwise you find yourself in the, oh, well, I'll take a vacation when.
Mm-hmm.
And then 20 years have gone by and you've never taken a vacation.
Absolutely.
Or you're going on a vacation every other month without being responsible enough to be able to pay your bills, and you coming back with the lights off, or coming back with not being able to eat, or coming back with, you know what I mean? So you definitely have to create a balance so that we are still living and so that we are still present, and we're not waiting until this faux better day that we're supposed to have, and we're not doing things to our detriment in the current moment. So you definitely have to find some kind of life equalization in both areas, because, you know, it's funny that especially as Black people, you hear that, oh, I sleep when I die rhetoric. Well, most people that live by I'll sleep when I die a lot sooner than,
because you know you're killing yourself, right?
So you're right. You are going to sleep when you die, and you just going to go a lot sooner.
It's just a lot sooner
than you know you may have thought. And so it's like, no, like we have to make sure that we aren't being so extreme in certain ideals, you know, because a lot of times as Black people, we get, and I'm doing this as Black people, we get caught up in these extremes of life, and they become our life mantras, and we don't realize a lot of time that it's these life mantras that aren't serving us. That was something that was for someone who maybe thought differently, and this was their new thing, but you don't know why they came to this conclusion in their life.
We've actually put a blanket over whatever we're going to do or what we're going, and it doesn't serve us. You know, it doesn't actually, they do say that people overwork themselves saying that. A lot of people, most of the people say, I'll sleep when I die.
Okay. Well,
you overworking yourself.
I'll be sure to eulogize you in 2 years, you know, at said funeral.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll be sure to eulogize you in 2 years, when you go a lot sooner than was expected, because you are now killing yourself, Black woman, with your heart disease. You are killing yourself, Black man, who doesn't like to go to the doctor. So now you're overworked, you're stressed out, you're eating wrong, and you're not resting, you're not drinking water, you're not doing any of these things, but you are just getting to the bag, and for what? Right.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that getting to the bag part. Yes, get to the bag. You know, get to the bag. But it doesn't have to be to a detriment of you.
You don't have to die.
No, you don't have to die for it.
You don't have to die.
You don't have to.
You don't have to prematurely age yourself. You don't have to, all of a sudden be suffering from all these diseases because you are literally overworked. You're literally killing yourself. You're literally overworked. And then you're reaching 50, 60 years old. And there's nothing worse to me than our people who get so stuck in their ways and with responsibility, and they're so stuck on survival that they have failed to live. And you wonder why so many of us think that we are living in hell right now. And it's because you are not living, you are surviving. And you are in survival mode at times, even when you don't have to be.
Because we're stuck there.
You're stuck there. You're stuck there.
We're stuck there.
You can act. You do know you can actually enjoy something.
Absolutely right.
Wait. Without making $1 million.
Absolutely right.
You could take a drive down the highway to blah blah blah, stay overnight and enjoy something and have a new experience. No one's saying that you have to be on a yacht in Saint-Tropez for a week in a bikini or some Speedos to enjoy life. You can put aside $50 to $200 and make it happen.
Right.
And still be responsible and still get your bills paid.
I mean, we did that. Right?
And grateful that we did.
And I'm grateful that we did because
that we did.
Like I said, we take a trip every year, me and you.
Yeah.
And when I look back, on the times that we took a trip, and we didn't always have it, right? We didn't always have it to do, but we made it happen. Bills got paid.
Yep.
And anyway, and we still survived, but we went and lived, and I love that about us. Yeah. And I look back now and remember, I always said, even though 2020 was like it was, I vicariously look, I swear. My fiance is like, why do you look at your pictures all the time? Because I lived through my pictures. Because I lived through.
I remember that feeling in that
I'm
moment.
grateful that I had those experiences. Yeah. Because in a world like 2020, had I not had those experiences and I can't look back on them, I would be like, what did I do?
And you can't do nothing now, and you didn't do anything before when you could.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like that becomes a sad existence.
It does.
And you wonder why people fall into depressions, and you wonder why some people are really just the walking dead because they're merely surviving.
Right.
They're not living. I think my word for 2021 is live.
Live. Okay.
I think my word is live.
Okay.
For right now, I think my word is
I'm
live.
sure it'll be some.
And it'll be a whole bunch of words. I'll have a whole dictionary.
Yeah.
As I get actually into the year. But I think for right now, live, everybody. Please.
I mean, I will just tell everybody, I know we're closing soon, but I will just tell everybody that do what we do every year. We write the vision, regardless of if it goes the way we planned, because we know that in 2020 it didn't go the way we planned it, but you still got to write the vision. You still got to write what you still got to make those things manifest, and you still got to put them in your mind. So those are some of the goals that you need to do before you write the vision, before the new year. You sit down, you get a thing to. I mean, we used to make a vision board.
Yeah, I had one for 2020.
I don't know if that's a thing of the past right now. But
listen, I had one for 2020, and you know what though? It was funny because every morning when me and my boyfriend get up and we'll look over, because mine is on the wall, and we'll look over and be like, wow, didn't know that at the start of 2020 all of this was going to happen. Mm-hmm. But honestly, when I look at a lot of the things I put on that vision board, I didn't miss much.
Okay.
I did not miss much. I had put things on about
having, new experiences on the job. I put things on about travel. I didn't get to travel much, but I did get to go at least one place this year.
Right.
I put things on there about just eating, different foods, and about being well with myself and healing. And I really just looked at it the other day and I was like, this year don't owe me too much more.
Me either.
This year don't owe me too much more.
Man, listen, this year don't mean nothing. This year don't owe me nothing. Like I went out with a bang, and that's all that matters to me. Like,
and you know what? And that's what we need to do here for the show. So for everybody who is watching it and for everybody who is listening, we do not have a show next Tuesday. We are going to take a break so we can revamp and come at you with a bang in 2021. I want our first show of 2021 to have all of our offerings. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're having this person on. We're doing this, that, or other. You could be a part of this. You can watch here. So we are going to be, and I have, some things that are going to be going on next week. Like I said, my son, kudos to him, is going to be, doing some big things that, we need to be present for. So, yeah, I love the fact that we can get to do this. The show has actually been therapy for me this year. The fact that we still get a chance to do it. So I thank God for BKS1 Radio. I thank God for Norm.
Absolutely.
I thank God for Jeff. I thank God for Trish.
Thank you,
thank God
all of you. Yes,
allowing us to still have this outlet in the year of 2020, where there were so many things that were, our normal had changed, but we were still able to do this. Still able to have this outlet. Still able
grateful.
to be creative. Still able to have a sense of self in the midst of what seemed like nothing but loss at the time. So thank you so much to you guys. Love every single last one of you, and know we didn't get to party and celebrate like we have all the other years, but hopefully God will give us more time so that we can do that. Everybody that watched, everybody that listened, everybody who was around, thank you guys so much. We will be putting together some things so that we can have some virtual events, at least for the first half of 2021, God willing. And yeah, by the grace of God, maintaining and all good, So Queen B, we got some work to do behind the scenes.
Of course.
And, see you.
And we'll bring them some fire next year.
Right. And we will see everybody on this same platform. I don't know if we'll be in the studio or if we'll be at home in 2 weeks. So everybody, please have blessed holidays, whether if it was Hanukkah you celebrated, or Christmas that you celebrated, or Kwanzaa that's coming up starting December 26th. Please have a great holiday. Cherish your family and spend time and just be grateful. Please try to be in the moment of happiness, peace, and joy. And I wish nothing but safeness and happiness to us all. And hopefully we will all still be here and in a great frame of mind on the other side. So that's all I got.
Happy holidays.
Holidays, everybody.
Love you all.
All right, Jeff, take us away.